Journalists are the eyes and ears of the world. They step into the heart of darkness, not as soldiers, but as witnesses. Their cameras and microphones become the tools that cut through silence and shadows, bringing light to places many never see. But in Gaza, even those who seek only to tell the truth walk a razor's edge. On that day, the morning sun barely risen, Anas al-Sharif and his 4 colleagues stood outside Al-Shifa Hospital in a small, fragile tent that held more than equipment. It held stories waiting to be told, lives waiting to be understood. Anas breathed in the dust-laden air, thick with the scent of burnt rubber and smoke. The heat of the early morning sun pressed down on his face, mingling with the lingering chill of fear that never quite left him. He remembered the rough texture of the camera in his hands, heavy yet familiar, like an extension of himself. His mind drifted to his family, miles away, sheltered but never safe. He thought of his mother's prayers, whispered softly before dawn, the way her hands trembled as she lit a candle for peace. The streets outside were silent now, but in his memory, they echoed with the sounds of a city that had known too much pain. The distant wail of sirens, the sharp crack of shells, the low murmur of voices huddled in makeshift shelters. In that tent, Anas felt the weight of his mission, not just to capture images, but to carry the unspoken stories of a people under siege, stories of shattered homes, lost childhoods, stolen futures. Around him, the air was thick with dust that danced in the beams of sunlight, like tiny spirits suspended between hope and despair. A broken toy lay half buried in the dirt near the tent's edge, a doll missing an eye, its face cracked and worn. It was a silent witness to the innocence lost in this endless conflict. From somewhere nearby, the faint sound of a distant prayer rose, a melody threaded with longing and defiance, cutting through the heavy stillness. Anas closed his eyes briefly, letting the sound anchor him. He thought, if the world could hear this prayer, would they understand? Would they care? Then, without warning, the missile came. A searing flash, a thunderous roar that shattered the fragile calm. Glass exploded like 1,000 stars falling to earth. Flames licked hungrily at the canvas, smoke swallowing the morning light. Anas's world fractured in an instant. His last thoughts were tangled in shock. The acrid sting of burning plastic, the screams that echoed and faded, the crushing silence that followed. When the smoke cleared, 5 lives were gone. Not soldiers, not fighters, just bearers of truth. The world saw the rubble, the smoldering wreckage of a media tent. But beneath the debris were stories that would never be told, unless someone else picked up the camera, lifted the voice, carried the light forward. Anas and his colleagues were not just casualties of war, they were martyrs to the cause of truth. Their deaths a brutal reminder that in this land of shattered dreams, even the truth is a target. Yet amid the grief, there is something else, a quiet strength that refuses to be extinguished. In the hollow spaces left behind, hope begins to stir. Anas's family weeps, but they speak his name with pride, not defeat. His friends vow to continue the work he began, each story told in active resistance, a declaration that silence will not win. The broken toy on the ground is picked up by a child with eyes full of curiosity, not fear. The prayer echoes still, carried on the wind, a promise that life, even in the darkest places, finds a way to endure. Anas al-Sharif and his 4 colleagues gave their lives so the world would not turn away. Their sacrifice challenges us to listen harder, see clearer, and stand firmer for press freedom. Because without their courage, without their stories, the world remains blind. Support those who risk everything to bring light to the darkest places. Support truth. Support justice. Support the brave souls who remind us that even in war, humanity must prevail. Their names should never be forgotten. Their voices must never be silenced.